Imagine yourself gliding along a tranquil river, cocooned in the heart of Africa's breathtaking wilderness. The sun bathes the landscape in a golden glow, its rays dancing on the gentle ripples of the water. Around you, the air is alive with the harmonious symphony of birdsong, each note a testament to nature's unbridled beauty. The river banks are adorned with lush vegetation, and the distant calls of wildlife echo softly, adding layers to the serene ambience. This is the quintessential African safari, a dream for many, an escape into a world where nature reigns supreme. Roland Cherry, a 63-year-old British traveler, had cherished this dream for years. A passionate lover of wildlife and natural landscapes, Roland finally seized the opportunity to visit Zambia, eager to immerse himself in its famed river safaris. Accompanied by a small group of like-minded tourists and guided by seasoned professionals, he embarked on this adventure aboard canoes that skimmed effortlessly over the Zambezi River. The setting was nothing short of idyllic. Elephants were spotted leisurely drinking from the river's edge, their massive forms silhouetted against the vibrant backdrop of the African sunset. Crocodiles lay sprawled on the banks, basking lazily under the sun, while hippos could be seen bobbing gently in the distance, their eyes and nostrils just peeking above the waterline. Yet, beneath this picturesque surface lay hidden dangers. Unbeknownst to Roland and his companions, these waters harbored one of Africa's most formidable predators, the hippopotamus. Despite their seemingly docile demeanor, hippos are far from harmless. They possess powerful jaws capable of exerting tremendous force, making them one of the continent's most dangerous animals. Their territorial instincts are fierce, often leading them to attack anything they perceive as a threat. On this day, Roland would come face to face with this reality, transforming what began as a peaceful journey into a harrowing tale of survival. As the canoes drifted silently downstream, Roland soaked in the splendor of the surroundings, blissfully unaware of the lurking peril beneath the placid waters. The stage was set for an encounter that would test the limits of human endurance and reveal the raw power of nature. Little did Roland know, his serene safari was about to take a dramatic turn, challenging everything he knew about the wild and his place within it. The tranquility of the moment shattered without warning. Beneath the calm surface of the Zambezi River, a massive force stirred. Suddenly, with explosive power, a colossal hippo surged upwards, breaking through the water like a torpedo. Roland's canoe was catapulted into the air, flipping violently before crashing back down into the churning waters. Chaos erupted instantly. Water rushed in from all sides, filling the canoe and submerging everyone in its icy grip. For a split second, Roland was suspended in shock, unable to process what had just happened. Then, as the initial confusion cleared, terror took hold. In the swirling chaos of bubbles and murky water, Roland struggled to orient himself. His body thrashed instinctively, but the weight of the water pressed down on him, disorienting and suffocating. Panic clawed at his chest as he realized something or someone had a hold of him. And then he saw it, the enormous, gaping maw of the hippo, its teeth gleaming menacingly in the dim light filtering through the water. With bone-crushing force, the beast clamped down on Roland's leg, shaking him violently as if he were nothing more than prey. Pain exploded through his body, sharp and searing, as the hippo's jaws ground into his flesh. Blood clouded the water around him, turning it a sickening crimson. Roland's mind raced, but there was no time to think, only to react. He fought back with every ounce of strength he could muster, kicking and punching wildly at the creature's face. His fingers scraped futilely against its thick, impenetrable skin, leaving trails of red in the water. The hippo's grip was relentless, its sheer power overwhelming. Roland felt himself being dragged deeper, the pressure in his chest mounting as his lungs screamed for air. Darkness crept in at the edges of his vision, and for a fleeting moment, he thought it was over. But deep within him, a primal instinct kicked in, a desperate will to survive. Summoning reserves of strength he didn't know he had, Roland continued to fight. His movements became frenzied, fueled by adrenaline and the sheer determination to live. And then, miraculously, the hippo released its grip. Roland shot upward, breaking the surface with a gasping, ragged breath. The world spun around him, the sounds of splashing water and distant shouts barely registering over the pounding of his heart. For a moment, he clung to the fragile hope that the nightmare was over. But the battle was far from finished. Just as Roland surfaced, gasping for air, the reality of his situation came crashing back. The hippo wasn't done. It circled ominously beneath the water, its dark form cutting through the murkiness with deadly intent. Roland's brief reprieve was over. He had seconds, maybe less, to act. Adrenaline surged through his veins, sharpening his focus despite the agony radiating from his mangled leg. Survival was no longer a possibility, it was a necessity. Summoning every shred of strength left in his battered body, Roland forced himself to move. His arms flailed desperately, propelling him toward the riverbank. Each stroke felt like fire coursing through his veins, his injured leg trailing uselessly behind him. The pain was excruciating, but stopping wasn't an option. The hippo charged again, its massive jaws snapping open wide, ready to drag him back into the depths. Roland's heart pounded in his ears as he pushed harder, his movements frantic but purposeful. The riverbank loomed closer, yet it still felt impossibly far away. Then, salvation appeared in the form of the guides. Spotting Roland's struggle, they sprang into action, shouting encouragement and urging him forward. Their voices cut through the chaos, grounding him in the present. With one final burst of energy, Roland reached the edge of the river. Hands grabbed him, pulling him onto solid ground with desperate urgency. The hippo, frustrated and thwarted, let out a guttural snort before retreating into the water, its massive form disappearing beneath the surface once more. Roland collapsed onto the muddy bank, his chest heaving as he gulped in precious air. His body trembled uncontrollably, a mix of exhaustion, pain, and relief washing over him. He was alive, but barely. The guides quickly assessed his injuries, their faces grim as they worked to stabilize him. Blood pooled around his leg, the damage severe, but the immediate danger had passed. Roland's survival had been nothing short of miraculous. Against all odds, he had escaped the jaws of one of Africa's deadliest predators. Roland's ordeal was far from over when he was pulled ashore. The severity of his injuries became starkly apparent as the guides assessed the damage. His leg bore the brunt of the hippo's assault, with deep lacerations and fractures that threatened not only his mobility but also his life. The medical team acted swiftly, applying tourniquets to stem the bleeding and administering pain relief as they prepared him for transport to the nearest hospital. The journey to safety was fraught with challenges, navigating rough terrain and limited resources, but every effort was made to ensure Roland received the care he desperately needed. Upon arrival at the hospital, doctors were astonished by the extent of Roland's injuries. The force of a hippo's bite is immense, capable of crushing bones and inflicting catastrophic damage. Yet, despite the odds, Roland's vital signs remained stable, a testament to his resilience and the quick actions of his rescuers. Over the following weeks, Roland underwent multiple surgeries to repair the damage to his leg. Surgeons worked meticulously to clean and close the wounds, realign broken bones, and prevent infection, a constant threat given the murky waters of the Zambezi River. Physical therapy sessions followed, grueling and painful, as Roland fought to regain even the smallest semblance of movement. But the physical scars were only part of the story. The psychological toll of the attack lingered long after the wounds began to heal. Roland found himself haunted by vivid nightmares, reliving the moment the hippo's jaws clamped down on his leg, the sensation of being dragged underwater, and the overwhelming helplessness that had consumed him. The trauma manifested in other ways too: heightened anxiety, an aversion to water, and a pervasive sense of vulnerability. He sought counseling to process the experience, working through the fear and anger that had taken root in his mind. Slowly, with time and support, Roland began to rebuild his sense of self, learning to confront the memories rather than suppress them. Despite the immense challenges, Roland's recovery was marked by moments of profound gratitude. He marveled at the resilience of the human body and spirit, recognizing how close he had come to losing both. The doctors who treated him were amazed by his progress, noting that his survival was nothing short of extraordinary. Roland's journey from the brink of death to a place of healing underscored the fragility and tenacity of life, a duality he now understood more deeply than ever before. Roland's harrowing encounter with the hippo serves as a stark reminder of the dual nature of the wild, beautiful yet perilous. Hippos, often perceived as slow-moving and docile creatures lounging in rivers, are in fact among the most aggressive and territorial animals in Africa. Their attacks are typically defensive, driven by an instinct to protect their domain. When humans inadvertently enter their space, they are perceived as threats, prompting these powerful beasts to respond with lethal force. Understanding this behavior is crucial for anyone venturing into hippo-inhabited areas. Survival experts emphasize several key precautions to mitigate risks during river safaris or any activities near hippo territories. Firstly, it is imperative to avoid rivers known for high hippo populations, especially during their active hours at dawn and dusk. Secondly, staying close to experienced guides who understand animal behavior and can navigate safely through such environments is essential. These guides are trained to recognize warning signs, such as hippos submerging or showing agitation, which can precede an attack. Lastly, never underestimate a hippo's speed or strength. Despite their bulk, they can run up to 30 kilometers per hour on land and are surprisingly agile in water, making them formidable adversaries. Roland's story underscores the importance of respecting nature's boundaries. While the allure of the wild is undeniable, it demands respect and caution. As guests in these ecosystems, humans must remember that they are visitors in a world governed by instincts and survival. By adhering to expert advice and maintaining a respectful distance from wildlife, adventurers can enjoy the splendor of nature without becoming unwitting participants in its more perilous aspects. Roland's brush with death left an indelible mark on his soul, reshaping how he viewed the natural world. What began as a journey of wonder and admiration for Africa's untamed beauty evolved into a profound lesson in humility and respect. The river that once seemed so serene now carried echoes of the raw power hidden beneath its surface. Roland understood that nature's beauty is inseparable from its danger, a delicate balance that commands reverence. The same wilderness that inspired awe could, in an instant, unleash forces beyond human control. This duality, he realized, is what makes the wild so captivating and so unforgiving. For Roland, the experience was transformative. It stripped away any illusions of dominance or invincibility, replacing them with a deep appreciation for the fragility of human existence. In the face of nature's might, he felt small, not in a way that diminished him, but in a way that connected him to something far greater. The hippos, the crocodiles, the elephants, and even the birds singing overhead were not merely subjects of observation, they were sovereign beings, rulers of a realm where humans are merely guests. Roland emerged from the ordeal with a newfound understanding. To enter the wild is to step into a world governed by ancient rhythms and instincts, where survival depends not on conquering but on coexisting. This realization extended beyond the riverbanks of the Zambezi. Roland began to see parallels in his everyday life, recognizing how modern society often overlooks the interconnectedness of all living things. The wild taught him that respect is not passive, it requires awareness, caution, and a willingness to adapt. He carried this lesson with him, sharing his story not as a tale of conquest but as a testament to the resilience of life and the humbling power of nature. In the end, Roland's survival was not just a triumph of physical endurance but a profound awakening to the intricate dance between humanity and the untamed world.